With things like flown arrays and quiet stages, fills have become extra important so the people down front can hear a full concert experience. Let's hear CJ talk about how our fills are set up.
So on this setup, we have 8 front fills. They are the SRX906s. And because they're all active boxes, they all have their own DSP inside. I can go through and time align them all to the main PA hangs separately. And for this setup, we have a thrust, which we have 2 front fills at the front of it. So not only did I have to time align those, I have to turn them down a bit so when you walk from left to right, it doesn't sound like it gets louder in the middle. It sounds even from left to right.
Yeah, so we're in a pit here.
That's the money seats right here. So yep, so each front fill, this side obviously is timed aligned with the house left hang. And then the 4 fills on the right side of the stage will be timed aligned with the house right PA. So yeah, as I was saying with the 2 front fills on the lip here of the thrust, after I timed align them, I have to turn down the gain to them to make it almost sound like I'm pushing them back to be in line with the other front fills. So whereas these front fills might be turned up a dB, the ones on the lip of the thrust are turned down 6. And with doing that, it makes it sound even, like I said, as you walk from left to right in the room. It doesn't sound 6 dB louder when you are standing dead center. And so for this setup, I time aligned the front fills with our bottom box of PA, which hits about right here. So this is my line of where I took my time alignments. All right, after all the PA stuff there, we have another cable trunk that's just for ground package stuff. So this has all of our subwoofer cables, all of our front fill cables, and we got a bunch of looms that are already out. But all of our looms have been put together nicely with snakeskin. And so if you have 9 subs, you grab all your looms that you're gonna need, throw a pile out right by the subs so whoever's underneath the stage can plug them all in one after one. Various extra cables in the tray. Maybe a data cable goes bad, you gotta swap a data line or signal line. And so that case will handle, like I said, anything on the floor. So all of our 8 front fills and our 9 subs, all the cabling comes from this case.
CJ, we marked these front fills with some tape.
Yep.
Want to just talk about that?
Pretty much the big X means don't stand here. A lot of artists like to rest their foot on them, which is okay, but standing on them, you're on the edge of the stage. The last thing you want is that to slip from underneath you, and then you're tumbling off the stage. Which also brings the point of the green strip here, is so the artist knows, hey, that's the edge of the stage.
And it also tells you there's a black box right there.
Yep.
Don't trip.
Yeah. When it's dark, you got lights flashing everywhere. Sometimes things are hard to see. So that helps them stick out.
Also, they're angled, so that would make them even a trip hazard too, but they have to be there.
Yep. And then, as you see the cables on the back, we'll keep it snug so they don't stick out.
Yep. And then, as you mentioned earlier, clean stage.
Clean stage. Yeah, check this out. We got 2 bands up here, but it's so clean you wouldn't be able to tell. At front of house, we have a couple laptops going here. One has Smart on it, which I use the timer line and tune the PA, which you can see the curve that I tune the PA to, which will also have an SPL meter. And don't really have an SPL limit here, as long as you're not hitting limits on the PA, which brings us to this laptop, which, as you look at it, this is what our PA looks like in the room. So we have 2 main hangs, You got 8 front fills across the front, and you got 9 subs underneath the stage. And as music's going, you'll see green meters for low and high, and then for sub. And I just try to keep an eye on how hard we're hitting the PA when someone else is mixing.
And then, like, you know, we have headliners here.
Yeah.
2 bands already.
Two bands.
They've got their consoles back here. So we've got the wing simply as a test desk.
Yeah. So
wing compact.
House music if needed, MCs if needed. If we're mixing an opener, that's what this would be used for.
But in this case, you use it for the smart rig.
Yes, yeah. So I have
because we didn't have a console last night. The headliners weren't here. Yeah.
So yeah. I used the console for pink noise, left, right. My left-right feeds, my 3 matrices, left-right sub-fill, and I'll use the pink noise in the console as I'm doing my time alignment stuff.
And we've never really talked about our front of house setup out here before, really. So like I said, we're just using the compact because we didn't need many channels. We didn't want to take up much footprint for knowing that we had 2 other consoles coming in here and another lighting console.
For this show, really just an oscillator.
Yeah.
That's all we ran through. It was pink noise.
Right. Other than some music just for, listening.
Yeah.
But we do have a switcher down here.
Yeah, we have a mix switch, which you can do 2 consoles. Both consoles can send you analog left, right, sub, and front fill. And then there's also a spare input here for a emergency mic or iPod, something.
Yeah, well, and there's another left-right input on the rear too. Same thing.
Yep. So when opener's done, I'll turn his console off, and I'll put the headliner's desk on. And then when he's done, I'll mute it.
And the mute overrides
both.
Yep.
And if you needed to, you can have both desks opened up.
Yep.
So if you got a guy that says, "Hey, leave me open all day," you just leave them opened up.
Yeah, because maybe there's going to be announcements on that desk randomly, and you don't know when they're going to be, or you don't want to stay back there all day, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for this instance, our opener is going to be first. He hasn't told me to mute him or anything, so I'll just leave him open. And whenever he's ready to roll walking music, he's ready to go. He's already in the PA.
And we could have taken our desk into this left-right input, and it still would have fed out the 4 things. We wouldn't have had independent control over it, but we still would have been able to send the subs. Yeah. So that's a look at how our fills are configured and how the bands get their fill feeds and other feeds to us for the show. Here's another video you might want to check out. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the patrons, and I will see you next time.